Hey everyone, and in today's video I just wanted to have a quick discussion in terms of a small tweak or small benefit of tvOS 14 that I may have spotted. Now I'm not 100% sure whether this is down to tvOS 14 or just something that was always there but I've just never noticed previously. And it's to do with regards to the Infuse app, or essentially any app that actually plays back content. I've not actually tested this with Plex or anything like that. I've not used those apps in quite a while. Anybody who watches this channel will know that basically Infuse is my go-to for any type of media that I've actually got downloaded or created on my NAS drive. Now, down the years of using this particular app, one of the kind of gripes was the fact that as soon as I got the Atmos soundbar, I was hoping to actually make use of Atmos content and actually play that back in full quality, but unfortunately that's not the case. So if I come into Joker, now Joker, as you can see from the title, this is a True HD, just there, True HD 7.1. This is a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So let me just make sure it's muted, and what I'll do is I'll hit play and we'll resume playing. And what you'll notice just down there is, although I may have to just unmute it, so yeah, so it won't actually show it whilst it's muted, but essentially down at the bottom we got nothing for Dolby Atmos, so we didn't get any confirmation that Dolby Atmos has been loaded in the actual playback. And if I just pull up the LG Wi-Fi app on my phone, the LG Wi-Fi speaker, and we come into the settings, as you can see it's not detecting any Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So if it had detected Dolby Atmos, it would have actually changed this option, so you wouldn't be able to switch between modes and it would be locked into Dolby Atmos. So if I just come out of that now, so with obviously true Dolby Atmos, it's still unable to actually play that back. However, what I did notice, just by chance, I was actually looking for something else. So I downloaded a few TV series, and the main reason was Snowpiercer. So anybody that's actually watched this, I was actually kind of, I was confused at one point during the intros and certain scenes of some of the episodes because of the way that the audio has been mixed. So I was watching this back on Netflix, and basically in a lot of scenes, and it's not just the actual intros, sometimes with intros you get it where they ramp the music up and they do it in such a way where it almost drowns out the vocals of the person who's the narrator, if you like. But with this particular show, it was at various points throughout the episodes as well. So what I did was I wanted to just check to see whether that was down to Netflix's mix, whether it was something to do with my settings on the soundbar, because even in the past I have had similar issues with Netflix where they crank up the gain so high on things like bass and other sound characteristics that whilst it does give you an amazing Dolby Atmos experience, so the surround sound, your rear speakers and also your Dolby Atmos is probably the best that I've experienced out of any streaming platform when it comes to anything that is actually Dolby Atmos based on Netflix. So with regards to that, obviously cranking up the gain so much does help out quite a bit. But with this particular show, what I was finding was, say for example halfway through an episode, and it wasn't necessarily the first one, I think it was about the third or fourth one, when they started doing a lot more of that it's something that they do throughout the series, where they'll have little sections where they'll build up the action, and then just as one of the characters actually talking, they're going to have some music playing in the background. And there was one or two episodes where it got so bad that I couldn't actually hear what the person was saying. So I literally downloaded these just to do a test to see whether essentially the downloaded copies play back the same, or whether that was literally just an effect of what Netflix was doing. So when I went into it, obviously I was looking for something completely different, but what I want you to do is just look down there, just where my finger's pointing, on the soundbar where it says HDMI 1 at the moment. So I'll go start from beginning, and look what I saw Dolby Atmos. Now, I've never actually seen that before, playing actual video content back through Infuse before. Now, they did get an update quite some time back now. I believe it was one of their last like major step up upgrades. So rather than one of their minor upgrades, it was one of their sort of more notable improvements. But essentially with that, it was only for AAC audio. Now, what I have noticed is it only applies to Dolby Digital Plus, so any Dolby Digital Plus content that you can find. So this once again is another Netflix show, and if you look just there, it says Dolby Digital Plus, and if I hit play, just down at the bottom, you'll see Dolby Atmos pops up. And I've not actually seen this show, so I don't want to actually ruin this one for me, so I'll stop that one. But what I will do is I'll come back to Snowpiercer, and I'll hit play, and yeah, we'll resume. And what I'll do is I'll just pull up the soundbar app, and as you can see, just in the background, that's actually switched over Dolby Atmos at the bottom there. And while that's loading up, if I click on this, there you go. So as you can see, it's actually locked it into Dolby Atmos. So it says it is playing in Dolby Atmos, and it won't allow you to actually switch to movie or standard or any other mode. And that's what it's meant to do when it detects Dolby Atmos content. And I have actually played this back, and for anybody who's not watched this particular show, I won't ruin it, but basically there's scenes in every episode where essentially it's a tannoy announcement, so it's over the PA system. And the PA system, as with most trains, your PA is generally at speakers firing from the top down, and it is some of the most realistic Atmos effect that I've actually experienced with this particular soundbar. So it is so pinpoint in terms of which way the characters are looking. So for example, if the character's sat there and they're looking towards this side and they're looking up towards this corner, so your top right hand corner, that's exactly where the sound will actually be coming from, and it's so obvious that that sound is above you. So in that sense, obviously it's very good in terms of what they've done. But obviously coming back to the point, the fact that it looks like, and I've never noticed this particular thing on tvOS 13, so I'm thinking possibly this could be something to do with Apple allowing more of the capabilities, essentially, because other apps can obviously make use of Dolby Atmos through the Apple TV, but Infuse was never able to with video content. For music, I believe you could actually do it, so it was actually giving you Dolby Atmos music playback, but it wasn't actually giving you Dolby Atmos for any of the video files that I could actually find. So even now, obviously that is still restricted to Dolby Digital Plus, so it's not full. Essentially it's a tuned down version. So in a way it's actually promising, because if the tuned down version, which is Dolby Digital Plus, sounds that good, you can only imagine how good True HD 7.1 is actually going to sound once that does actually get full permission, because Infuse, they have actually put in requests to basically be given access to the API in order to access and make use of full Dolby Atmos, but essentially it's one of those things where Apple are worried about piracy and things like that, and because of that, I'm guessing they restrict certain applications from having access to Dolby Atmos. But obviously, with having listened to it through the internal apps, and for the most part, obviously, when I come into Netflix and I play back through that, that is going to be playing back in Dolby Digital Plus as well. So I believe most of these streaming services will actually play back in Dolby Digital Plus. I don't think any of them will actually be lossless 7.1 True HD audio. So hopefully somewhere down the line within iOS 14, tvOS 14, I'm hoping that we do actually see a full access to Dolby Atmos and True HD, and hopefully that will actually allow us to fully utilize and experience what the sound taken to the max, essentially, when it's allowed to make use of every channel with that 7.1 setup. I have actually done a few tests using the internal app, and played back some demos and some files that I downloaded using the LG's built-in app. So if you haven't seen that video, go in the TV and video playlist on my channel and go check that out. Basically there's a sample in there where I'm not sure how well it actually comes across on YouTube, but in the flesh, basically it was so much better than any of the demos that I'd actually heard playing back through other devices, where obviously you're getting separation, you're getting 5.1, but because you didn't have it, because it didn't recognize Dolby Atmos, it wasn't actually giving you separation per channel, and it wasn't giving you the height separation as it did with those particular demos. So obviously do go check those out. And as I said, this video was basically just picking up on this fact that, as I say, it may not have anything to do with tvOS 14, but I've never actually previously noticed that. And basically I've tried a heck of a lot of content since I've had the soundbar, downloaded content, ripped content, streaming content, all sorts of different content to try and find something where it'll actually give me Dolby Atmos through various different apps. I did try Plex for a little while, I tried VLC, and I also tried, obviously, Infuse is my main one as well. Infuse is the most powerful, so for the most part I was actually hoping that that would be the one that would actually give me access to basically what I was looking for. But hopefully this is a sign of things to come, and somewhere down the line we're going to get full access and basically be able to utilize all of these kind of peripherals, so the soundbar, the sub, the Atmos experience to the maximum.